Man, such a perfect family if I say so myself.
This one's called My Butt by Gumball Watson. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle when I pop a hip.
I mean, I don't like butt jokes, but, you know, we all have our cons. Okay, I've had enough. This is obviously a... Okay, so basically the Amazing World of Gumball returned, and if you don't know what the Amazing World of Gumball is, why did you click on this video? Anyways, this show was my childhood, and the more older I got, the more respect I had for it. The complete opposite happened with Teen Titans Go. So of course I'm going to be overjoyed when a new season of Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball comes out. Also, real quick, the new Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball does not address the Void situation yet. The creator already addressed that he will be discussing the Void, and Rob will get a happy ending. Alright, to the episodes. This was a stellar start to the season, in my opinion. I just think it's kind of funny, like, the boys just trying to do all of this stuff just to eat healthy, man. And Larry just shows up and says, you know what, my boss told me you can't do this, man. In the big reveal at the end of the episode was hilarious. Like, Larry's boss was just a big burger this entire time. I remember in season 1 when Larry's boss was just a teddy bear. Also, the People Are Dumb 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 song was kind of funny. Oops, spoilers. Well, don't watch this video if you don't want spoilers. I also think it's funny that Joyful Burger is just a parody of McDonald's. Like, it's not even a secret, man. And Miss Sidian beating the crap out of Mr. Smalls, man, I love that so much. Oh, you don't know by now, I hate Mr. Smalls. Anyway, solid start to the season. Now let's move on to the next episode.
Doors locked. Destination, bottom of Elmore Lake.
Okay, so this episode is basically about Nicole needing somebody to help her do grocery shopping and stuff. So she, like, has a bot to talk to, and she basically becomes best friends with this bot. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not really like this episode. I just thought it was pretty, I can't believe I'm saying this, boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the parody of Siri or ChatGPT, but I just don't think they did it right. I mean, the only joke that I think I liked in this episode was climate change! But then again, that wasn't really that funny. Alright, let's just get to the next episode.
I didn't think it was possible, but they just put me off my breakfast.
Okay, so basically in this episode, Gumball and Darwin are getting too attached to each other. I mean, look at this. So they give Darwin his own room and make Gumball stay with NIS. Yeah, it's kind of messed up, I'm not gonna lie. But Gumball desperately starts to miss Darwin, even though he's just downstairs. He misses him so much, he makes a statue out of fish scales, just for Darwin. And then the worst thing happens. Darwin, he's hanging out with other friends. And he basically became crazy, and he listened to a random guy on the internet who says to go basically attack the people that Darwin's hanging out with. But then at the end of the episode, we all realized a huge misunderstanding, and like Darwin just was having those people help him build a room for Gumball in his room. Man, I thought this was a really good episode. I really ain't gonna lie. Like, Gumball just acting very crazy was super funny. And the Club Penguin reference, I love it so much, man. Anyways, let's get to the next episode.
Richard, could you help me out here and roast that chicken?
Seems a bit harsh. The guy's already dead, but okay. Does something smell foul? He wouldn't know. He's lost his head. Okay, I knew that joke wouldn't fly.
This episode was really good. Okay, so basically Nicole, who the heck is Nicole? Okay, so basically Nicole really wants something from Richard, but Richard doesn't know what she wants because, well, let me have Anais explain it.
We know your memory is worse than a goldfish with short-term memory loss.
But the only way he can remember stuff is by eating stuff, which sounds very Richard-like in my opinion. So he goes off and eats all these foods just to remember what Nicole wants him to get her. But then he remembered that it was actually his own mom. So then he goes to go get his mom, but he makes a mistake and he ends up leaving his mom at a bus stop with the kids. He goes home and Nicole seems pretty angry, but he figures out the whole time that Nicole just wanted some alone time so they could just eat some food. This was a really sweet ending in my opinion, and it's a pretty good episode, not gonna lie. Also, I don't blame Nicole for not want to see Richard's mom. I mean, she's already an annoying character. I don't like Richard's mom. I hate her more than Mr. Smalls. I mean, look at her. Ugh. Anyways, next episode.
That guy's time as principal is gonna be shorter than his...
Good evening, sir.
To the airport. Make it quick.
Perhaps a shortcut.
Okay, so I really don't like this episode, so let's speedrun it. So basically, Gumball wants to perform a poem about his butt, but Mr. Brown does not let him because he's insecure about his own butt because he got bullied when he was younger. So he basically has to learn how to not be insecure. And at the end of the episode, he ends up performing a rap song about his butt. That's the whole episode, I'm not joking. This episode had the structure to be good. It had a good message, and it had good gags. If only the character wasn't so boring that they picked, and the episode wasn't about being insecure about your butt. Like, it could have been anything else, honestly. Let's just go to the next episode. Okay, so basically, Nicole bought Anais tickets to Daisyland, but she just never got around to taking her because their family is so distracted and attention grabbing. So when the theme park is about to close down, Nicole's like, okay, it's time to lock in. But before they go to Daisyland, there's a few problems. 1, Darwin is scared of this baby thingy. 2, the Gumball's having relationship issues. And 3, well, Richard's just bad at building a car. So then Nicole basically speedruns fixing these problems. But then this happens.
Plus, the damage you caused on the freeway means that no, Mrs. Watterson, I cannot let you go to Daisyland.
But then the family was basically like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And they made sure Anais went to Daisyland. But we learn at the end of the episode that Anais did not even care about Daisyland. She just wanted a little bit of attention. This episode was a great episode. I also love how they show how much Penny and Gumball love each other. I'm not gonna lie. This episode was pretty good compared to the last one. So let's move on to the next episode.
Mr. Small!
Okay, so in this episode, Mr. Smalls is predicting couples for some reason. And he says that Penny will break up with Gumball by the end of the day and be with Tobias. But they obviously joke it off because it can't be real. Gumball and Penny love each other to the moon and back. So then they start to do their own thing again. Until one of Mr. Smalls' predictions come true. Hot Dog Man and Sarah fall in love. Honestly, I would not worry if I were Gumball. He doesn't have to deal with Sarah doing her creepy stuff anymore. So that begins to worry Gumball. But him and Penny just shrug it off again. Because what could the big deal be, honestly? But then a crap ton of Mr. Small's predictions start to come true. Heck, even Darwin and Tina fall in love. So Gumball does what Gumball would do. He overdoes his love for Penny. But yeah, that ticks Penny off. So Gumball was getting sick of all this. So he does what a normal man would do. He goes and confronts Mr. Smalls. So Mr. Smalls tries to break them up because zodiac signs say they can't be together. But Gumball's not stupid. He's like, zodiac signs have nothing to do with love, which I love so much. I love this message so much because there's a lot of people I've seen worry about zodiac signs when it comes to love. But Gumball gets out of the weird Mr. Smalls world and he figures out that there's been a weird chemical going around that making people fall in love with anything they see and made Mr. Smalls fall in love with a rock. He made him fall in love with a rock. This episode was pretty mediocre, I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of funny jokes, but it was alright. This was the one episode where I love Mr. Smalls. He was just really funny in this episode, in my opinion. Anyways, next episode.
Steezy!
Okay, so this episode starts off with Gumball and Darwin going through Nicole's diary. And they figure out that she wanted to be a cheerleader, but it was not her diary. It was actually Richard's. Okay, so Richard always wanted to be a cheerleader, but his mom always said this.
Don't dream too big, baby. Success doesn't run in the Watterson family.
So they make Richard do stuff in his diary that his mom forbids, so they don't end up with the same problem that he has. But Richard is still having the same problem, so they decide to give him the head of the first cheerleader. This is a lie, by the way. So then Richard starts killing his performance until he sees his mom. He also tells his mom that he doesn't need her support because he has the head of the first cheerleader. But yeah, she ruins everything if you can't tell. So then Richard starts killing his performance, not because of the head of the first doll, it's because of the support of his family. I'm so mad. This is what the butt could have been, but is it? No, it's not what the butt was. The butt was a way weirder episode. Also, this is an episode where I like Mr. Smalls again. Please don't tell me I'm growing on Mr. Smalls. Please. Anyways, next episode. So this episode starts off with Gumball and Darwin not paying attention to a single thing. And then they stepped into Tina's, dinosaur painting, and that makes her really mad, so she threatens to beat them up. So then they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of the fight with Tina. Until they run into Molly, and apparently Molly is really boring because she goes on full-on yapping sessions. But they realize that Molly can freeze time. So what do? Well, they take advantage of it, and they, do pranks, and they tell really bad jokes. Honestly, what a lame thing to use the power with. But then they figure out that they still have to fight Tina. So what do? They freeze time and they master Kung Fu. But yeah, the Kung Fu really does not work in this situation. But when all hope seems lost, they figure out that all they needed to do was just listen to Tina and they would have known why she was upset. Good thing that Molly has a good truce with Tina and Tina lets them go. But then they go on a yapping session and Molly's like, I'm not doing this, and freaking KOs them. I like how in this episode, Gumball and Darwin just keep on digging themselves a deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And they could have just stopped and paid attention, honestly. Anyways, let's go to the next episode.
Now, Watterson! Do you want to grow up into a meaningless parasite that begs for free stuff because he has no skill or knowledge to offer society? Because this is how you become an influencer!
Wait, what? Okay, so in this episode, a lot of important things have disappeared, like calculators and Chromebooks. But the school funding has been going down and down, so that's why stuff has been disappearing. So Gumball was like, screw it, I'm just gonna use my phone as a calculator, but Miss Simeon thinks he's cheating. So she takes his phone, and then class ends, and she does not give him his phone back. And Gumball goes to see what's going on, and she actually stole. She stole from the school. And then Gumball goes to go confront her for stealing. And can I just ask real quick, how does Gumball turn into a megaphone? How is that possible? But Gumball gets knocked out, and he ends up in Miss Simeon's car. So Miss Simeon is apparently on this big heist to do whatever. So she first goes and beats up this robber guy, and she ends up putting the robber guy in the back of her car. And Gumball tries to call the cops on Miss Simeon because she's breaking every law in the book apparently. So then she stops at the pawn shop because she needs to sell something. And then you start hearing screaming, so I wonder what's going on in there. And then they run into Herschel, which is the one that's in charge of this entire heist. And they get on a high-speed chase with Herschel, which I'm just going to call Herschel the gym teacher because I think that name suits him more. I don't like calling him Herschel. That's kind of weird in my opinion. So Miss Simeon has the robber jump into the car to get the bag, but the robber obviously jumps out the car and run away. So then Miss Simeon has Gumball jump in the car to get the bag, which Gumball actually does get the bag. And then this is what happens next.
This far, we might as well go all the way. What do you say, Watterson?
No, it's okay. Police are tracking us. She's going down like a lead baboon.
But then Miss Simeon takes Gumball to a cave, so Gumball tries to defend himself, until he figured out that Miss Simeon wasn't really doing anything bad. She was doing all this so she could buy laptops to help out Gumball, because she said that every student matters in her school. And apparently all of the school funding went to the police force, which I don't know how that makes sense, but okay. Honestly, I think that this was a good episode to conclude Miss Simeon's character, because she was actually doing good in this episode, not anything bad. So let's move on to the next episode.
Hello, Missy. Looks like you might need a little assistance over here.
Pick you up at the mall at 6.
Okay, so in this episode, Gumball and Darwin want to get a new phone because their phone is basically a brick. So they want to get a brand new phone just for a social media app called Quits app, which they do. But before they download the new app, they realize something. Everyone that has downloaded the app has basically become a zombie. Which most of the zombies are stuck doing trends, which I would hate that so much, man. Imagine living the rest of your life just doing a stupid trend. Man, that would be such a worse way to live. That's worse than being a zombie in The Walking Dead. So Gumball and Darwin announced that they're not going to be a part of Quicksap because of the, shall we say, damage and effects. So the Quicksap zombies obviously go kill the odd one now. And apparently it's all this guy's fault because he wrote the most addicting code to his social media app. So Gumball and Darwin go to the cell tower to bomb it, but they don't have a bomb. Oh wait, they do. The brick of the phone is basically a bomb. So they bomb the cell tower, but humanity still is not restored. So yeah, they're kind of screwed. So their mom comes to rescue until their mom signs up to Quicksap and becomes a zombie. So then they're screwed until they figure out that the way you can kill a social media app is by parents signing up to it. So if an apocalypse ever happens on a social media app, just have your parents signed up to it.
Remember the flying lawnmowers?
Okay, as much as I want to explain this episode and do a quick, breakdown, but this episode's kind of hard to. It's really fast-paced, and honestly, I didn't like this episode, to be honest, and I'm not just going to skip it. I'll give you my review. I thought it was too fast-paced. I thought it was too colorful and just too much, honestly, so let's just get to the next episode. In this episode, Darwin wants to give Carrie a letter, but Carrie, how do I say this, kind of hates love. So if Darwin doesn't want to look like scrambled eggs, he needs to do something. He needs to get that letter, and one problem, it's in Carrie's backpack. So Darwin sends Gumball to go get the letter, but the backpack eats Gumball, and Gumball has to out-weird the backpack to get out. But then Hector gets the letter, and Hector thinks the letter is towards him. So Darwin reads the letter out loud to the entire class, and that makes Carrie think that he's cheating on her. So she gets mad. So then Darwin has to tell the truth.
I wrote you a letter! And I wanted you to know how I feel, but not on the day. Literally, on the day, your heart. I learned about the whole go see people's faces thing when they hear the words, I love. So instead, I'll just say, eat my face.
And right there, we all would have got our happy endings and the episode would have ended. But this right here happened. This was weird, but kind of sweet. I mean, is this what the distance was building up to? This is just kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. And it's a cool, relationship development. But why do they have to make Gumball kiss Darwin? I mean, Carrie and Darwin has kissed before. Anyways, Darwin X Gumball shippers, you must be dancing in your shorts right now. So let's not draw any more attention to this, and we'll just go to the next episode, okay?
Ugh, is this dressing blue and black?
Looks white and gold to me.
Okay, so this episode starts off with NIE's trying to describe this device to her dad. And yeah, she kind of sucks at describing it. She's just overthinking it. All she has to say, hey, this is a device you can put it on fruit and vegetables and plants, and it can read their minds. But no, she's making it the wrong way. But then Gumball and Darwin drop expired milk on the ground, and Richard's in their 5-second rule kicks in, which makes sense. But Gumball and Darwin want to put NIE's device on a hot dog, which... you know what? I want to know what hot dog says too. Go ahead, Gumball and Darwin. But then Richard accidentally swallows the device, making his stomach talk. Yes, his stomach talk. And his stomach is very, very smart. You know what they say. Your gut knows before your head does. Wait, is that a break? But basically, Richard's gut can relate to NIE's. So they start getting along. Which Richard's just sitting there awkwardly. Which is just funny, honestly. But then Richard's gut, hijacks his body and ends up attacking everyone, which NIE's is smart and activates the 5-second rule. I honestly really liked this episode. I really did. It was a really good, relationship with Richard and the kids. But let's get to the next episode. Okay, so this episode starts off with NIE's getting wrinkled because her family is, stupid. I'll just say stupid. So Anais is trying to fix her family, so she decides to start off with Darwin, which Darwin needs to be more tougher. So she sends him to this toughen up camp, which there's this cool montage of Darwin just doing tough things, but shortcut, it does not toughen him up. It makes him just normal, honestly. So then she tries to get Gumball to stay out of trouble, which he's just standing still, and all of this happens, so good luck with that. So yeah, that obviously fails. So then she tries to get Nicole and Richard to settle down and just relax, but Richard is Richard, so that obviously doesn't work out. So when all hope seems lost, Gumball sings a beautiful song. Actually, yeah, this song is so beautiful, and I love this song so much that I am not going to play it in the video. I mean, I don't want to get copyright strike, but I honestly think you should go listen to it for yourself, because it is a very good life lesson. Anyways, next episode, guys. Okay, so this episode starts off with Gumball hated on the school lunch, which, I mean, I guess, but this school lunch actually looks pretty good. Compared to my school lunch, this is why I bring my lunch. But then Gumball runs into this beautiful mac and cheese, and why don't I go get some mac and cheese? Be right back. Mac and cheese run, success. And when Gumball gets home, he wants mac and cheese too, but his family kind of sucks at cooking. Listen, I cannot relate to Gumball. My dad is really good at cooking. So then Gumball wants to go to Masami's house so he could get that delicious mac and cheese. But there's an issue. Masami's mom hates Gumball's mom. And Gumball's mom hates Masami's mom too. They just have a feud. So then Masami's mom tries to train Gumball against, like, Nicole. But that backfires because a Watterson never changes, which I really love this aspect, like Wattersons are ride or die. So Nicole and Gumball just prank Masami's mom, which is really funny, honestly. But I thought this episode was pretty good, and it was just a good episode. So why don't we get to the next episode? Okay, so in this episode, it's a really hot day, and her dad just wants them to cool off because he doesn't want his two sons melting to death. So what ends up happening, they end up seeing that Mr. Robinson wants a pool, and they obviously want to get in that pool, but Mr. Robinson doesn't want them in their pool because, well, Mr. Robinson's mean. So Richard does a lot of stuff to try and get in that pool until he just finally goes and decides to talk to him, and that makes Mr. Robinson tell the truth. The reason why he got the pool is because he wanted to enjoy it with his son, but his son ended up moving out by the time he got the pool. So that's why he doesn't want them in his pool. But he ends up inviting them inside his pool, and we get the happy ending. Finally, we got a Mr. Robinson episode. I love Mr. Robinson episodes. I'm so happy we got this. But this episode's over, so let's get to the next episode. But God, we got a Robinson episode. I'm so happy.
Only thing taking your souls will be me. If you don't
give me your cutest smile for this photo.
So this is my favorite episode of the season, I'm not gonna lie, like, this episode was so good. So basically, this episode's about, like, Nicole wanting a really good family photo, and then, like, all of the family just chimes in, like, all of them, like, even ones you barely ever see, and they all just want to be a part of this family, and then the cops and everything are called, all of this happens, and, well, Nicole gets her family photo in the end, but she chooses the old one. I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite episode, and this is on top of the list. It's just a really wholesome episode, and it's about the family, and I love the family episodes. The family episodes are my best, and we get to see the entire family in this episode, and that's all I have to say. It's just a really good episode. Let's get to the next episode.
Oh no, they've been hitting that formula too hard. Okay, time to pacify these guys.
Okay, so in this episode, Gumball is scared to climb the rock wall because his underwear got exposed. So he has people try to, like, make him face his fear. He had a gym teacher try to show him. He had a mech suit built for him, and he had Mr. Small try to show him, which that obviously failed because knowing Mr. Smalls, it was not that good. Until his parents told him to face his fear. And what does he do? He climbs that rock wall. And this was a pretty good episode. Honestly, I think this was a better version of the butt, facing your fear and your insecurities. Alright, let's get to the next episode.
Cheers, Dad.
We finally made it to the final episode. And in this episode, Penny invites Gumball over so he can play on her karaoke machine. But this was a trick, because Penny is having a family tradition today, and they want her to wear her shell, but she doesn't like wearing her shell, so her dad forces her and Gumball to wear their shells. So then they start doing their family traditions, which Gumball does not like. So he goes to the bathroom so he can take a break until he runs into the grandma of the family, and he tells the grandma how he really feels about Penny.
I'm Penny's boyfriend. She brought me here to back her up because, well, you know how your family can be a bit her.
So then Penny's family starts to hunt down Gumball, and yeah, it scares the living heck out of Gumball, but they weren't hunting him down. They were telling him that they were proud of him because he stood up for Penny, and they revealed their true self. This was a banger episode to end off on, I'm not gonna lie. I really liked this episode. And you know what, let's get to the next episode. Oh wait, yeah, the 20 half of episodes are not out yet. Let's get to the review. Oh my god, this was such a banger season, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, there were so many good episodes. Usually in a Gumball season, there are a lot of episodes that I don't like, but there's more episodes I like. But in this season, there were so many episodes that I really enjoyed. So, honestly, I think it's probably the second best season out of Gumball, I'm not gonna lie. So, let's get to the ranking.